The water in this tiny little stream is crystal clear, and today I'm going to be fishing here to see what's in here. I know upstream in the creek there's some little galaxias, little minnows, then there's a big waterfall, and I just wonder whether some trout may have pushed up below the waterfall, or possibly even some blackfish. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now this creek, this is the headwater of the headwater. I catch a lot of trout in this stream, way downstream where it's much wider, and it's a very healthy trout stream. Upstream of here, on a little trickle under the road, I've called native galaxias, little minnows. I'm not sure what's here, I'm halfway along. I'm in a headwater of a headwater with galaxias in the headwaters of the headwaters of the headwater, if that makes sense. This could have trout, it could have galaxias, it could have blackfish. I'm going to fish now until after dark and see what I can find. One thing I am sure about, there'll be something here because this is permanent water, so there'll be something living here. Whether it's blackfish, galaxias or trout, I don't know. Let's just put a line in and see what we can find. Well, there's rings on the water here. So there must be something in there. There's a lovely deep hole here, but I'm approaching it from very high up. Just deep. It's really deep, and yet I can see the bottom really easily. Look at those fish in there. They've got to be trout. They've got to be trout. Here we go. Oh, something had that then. Something, I still got him. Got him. Oh, what have I got? It's a trout. There you go, folks. There are trout in here. Hope you got off. There's a nice, lovely, fat, brown trout. Have a look at that. Bloody ripper. I'll get some release footage. Well, folks, we know there's trout in here because I just caught one and it was a lovely trout. You might have got a bit of a glimpse as to how clear the water is as a fish swam off. It might have looked clear, but imagine how much clearer it would look with the sun shining on it instead of underneath this real heavy tree cover. Anyway, we know there's trout here, but I can't help but think that there'll be blackfish in here as well. And I know that there's galaxias up further, and I'm hoping to be able to catch one of them for you before the end of the video, although they are a very tiny fish. They can be hard to catch, but I'd like to show you one if you haven't seen one. Anyway, I'm going to get up, walk around all this crap and see if I can find another pool to fish. It's times like these I wish I'd remembered my gumboots. It's a nice looking pool. I'll fish it from way back here. I know there's trout in here, and this is a very trouty looking pool. There's a bite. Got him. What have I got? It's small as a trout. It is a little weeny brown trout. Look at the size of this fish. That is tiny. It's a tiny weeny little brown trout. Wait until you see this. How good does that look? Bloody beauty. See you later, mate. Still using the same worm. Nice looking pool in there. Just a little bit awkward to get into. Just a bit. This spot might require a little bit of adventure. Are there any fishies down there? I'm going to lay down and fish this spot. Lay down fishing. I can't say I've ever done this before. Oh, there's waves there, something in the pool. Will it find my worm? I'm watching my line just sitting on the water there, just hoping it pulls forward. It's moving, something's got that. Got him. Oh, gee whiz. I certainly wasn't expecting this. I certainly was not expecting to catch a giant like this. When I say giant, it's probably a 35 centimetre trout, but it's in a trickle. Come on, mate, you wrapped around a few things there. Give your hand a bit of a wet. That is an absolute beauty. And I was not expecting that. I'll bring it down here. I might get a quick photo of this one. See you later, mate. Off he goes. I'm now putting a fresh Janjuck worm on. I'm only using one worm at a time. That's all I need. But this tiny weeny little stream, I wonder if these trout are here all summer or whether they just come up into here in the autumn to spawn in the winter or later in the autumn. That one was quite a lean trout, which tells me that it's probably getting ready to spawn. It's still a little bit early yet. Either way, I knew there'd be something in this creek. I actually thought I'd catch Galaxias and blackfish. All I'm catching is trout. I suspect there will be blackfish in here, and I know there are Galaxias upstream further, above the waterfall. There's a bigger one just come and grabbed it. Oh, missed him. I cast that in there with he's grabbed it, he's playing with it. Has he got it? No, he has got it, I think. He has too, look. I could see a heap of little ones in there, so I was casting to the little ones. And as soon as I cast into the little ones, this larger one come down. Another lovely brown. I totally was not expecting to find such good trout fishing in this tiny little stream. Lovely trout. Gone. I wouldn't mind betting that's a little Galaxid or Galaxia. Here we go, folks. What have I got here? I've whipped my hands on this damp bit of grass. Looks like I've got a mountain. I'm not sure whether it's pronounced Galaxia or Galaxid. It's a little native minnow found in some of these streams up in the high country. What I'll do, I'll get a quick photo of it so you can get a real good look before I put it back. See you later, mate. Now that was I think it's a Galaxia. It's either a Galaxis, Galaxia or Galaxid. I get them a little bit confused, but I just call them Galaxias. Now, I'm guessing it was a mountain Galaxia, but I've got no idea. There's quite a few different species. There's an eastern barred, a climbing, a mountain, there's a striped Galaxia. There's quite a few. I suspect this is a mountain Galaxia. There were probably no less than 10 or a dozen of them swarming around my worms then, and I'm not going to show the entire scene because it goes for too long. I must have tried 8 or 9 times to hook one before I finally caught one, and that's about as big as they get. A lot of people confuse them with blackfish or greasies. They're totally different. The blackfish, or greasies as many people call them, are more of a green colour. They look more like a little slimy, slippery Murray cod with a long tail. These Galaxias look a little bit more like a trout. They're more of a yellowy colour, and they're much smaller. They don't grow nearly as big as the blackfish. The joys of fishing around blackberries and hawthorn bushes. Here it is, folks. This is the waterfall. I suspect this will be the end of the trout. Oh, something just jumped out there now. I would be very, very surprised if there's any trout upstream of this waterfall. Oh, just had a bite. Still playing with it. Got him. Is it a little trout? It is a little trout. Look at that. Tiny, weeny little brown trout. Come here, mate. Hooked in the mouth. I wander up and throw him back into the pool that I caught it in. Look at that very pretty little fish. You ready, trout? Let's launch. How nice is that? Now, I reckon that's going to be a natural barrier to trout movement upstream, trout migration. Waterfalls this size, trout can often swim past when the creeks flood, but being so far up in the headwaters of this creek, I doubt whether it would ever flood enough for trout to swim up there. Bear in mind, this trickle, this is a La Nina flow. It's above average rainfall this year, and that's all the water we've got. So most years there's less than that, and I doubt very much whether there's going to be any trout upstream of here. But we'll go up there on Wetter Line anyway and have a look. Right, there's the waterfall right there. I'm in the hole directly above the waterfall. And straight away there's Galaxias on that, heaps of them. Oh, there's about 5 of them on it. They're so hard to hook because they're so small. There's heaps of them on it, they're swarming it. My hook's way too big, even though it's a really small hook. Got him. He's tiny. He fell off anyway. He must have just been holding onto the worm. Let's get a quick bit of mobile phone footage for you, I think. That is a Galaxia. Oops. 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 That is a Galaxia or Galaxias or something. It's a native minnow. See you later, mate. You can actually see him swimming off there after I threw him back in. This is the hole directly above the waterfall, and there was no less than probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them swarming my worm when I put that in there then. The creek is teeming with these native little minnows. I'll throw my line back in there and see if they swarm it again. Look at that, the moment it hit the bottom, bang. I think the trick then was when they were on it, to lift it out really quick and hope they don't let go of the worm. That didn't work that time. The moment I put that line back in there, bang, heaps of Galaxias on it. Yeah, oh, almost got one out. It's hard to hook them in the mouth because they're so small. Got him. Ha! This is the smallest one. How did I manage to hook that? I haven't, I've jagged it. I've foul hooked this one, but anyway, that's because there were so many of them swarming around my hook. I'll try and get a bit better mobile phone footage. That is a tiny little Galaxia or Galaxia. I think it's a Mountain Galaxia. See you later, mate. This pool is teeming with them. I've just caught 2 in quick succession and seen probably 20 or more others, 30 others even. Heaps of them. Directly above the waterfall, which is right there. I reckon that waterfall blocks the trout coming up, and because there's no trout, the Galaxias can flourish. And that's good. Plenty of room for both. Right, let's cast below this little waterfall here. Fishing up off a high bank. There's a fish on it. There's Galaxias on it. See what a hook a Galaxia. There's one swimming with it. Is he on? No. He's going to need to be hooked before I can lift him all the way up this high bank. There's still one straight away. As soon as it hit the water, one grabbed it. Got him. Oh, I've jagged him. I've jagged him too. There it is. Little native minnow. I think it's a Mountain Galaxias, but it could be a different type. Sorry, mate, he got off. Yeah, he's back on. See you later, mate. It's a long way down. That waterfall acts as a bit of a divider. Downstream of the waterfall, there's a lot of trout. It's a great trout fishery. Upstream of the waterfall, there's a lot of little native Galaxias. There's a native fishery. This is a wonderful little stream. There's something here for everyone. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've liked the video. If you have, want to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.